This video is sponsored by RKTF University, Radisson Blue.
Good morning, I'm Vidusha Agarwal and you're watching News Flash. Today is the 1st of August and we have a lineup of crucial stories touching every corner of the globe, from the latest developments in politics to groundbreaking advancements in technology. The European Union announced on Wednesday that it has started disbursing 400 million euros in emergency funding to the Palestinian Authority to address its critical budget issues. Now, the first tranche of 150 million euros includes grants to help civil servants' salaries in the West Bank and support vulnerable families. The killing of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, which the Palestinian militant group has blamed on Israel, reveals the extent of Israeli penetration inside the Islamic Republic. Now, Haniyeh, based on Doha and recently in Tehran, for the inauguration of new Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, was killed nearly on Wednesday at a residence in northern Tehran. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on Wednesday requested cooperation from the United Nations and other international organizations to conduct a thorough investigation into the recent nationwide violence during the anti-quota agitation. The Bank of Japan continued to unwind its extensive monetary easing program on Wednesday by raising interest rates for only the second time in 17 years. The central bank also indicated plans for further hikes if the economy performs as expected. The board's long-standing ultra-loose policies have made it an outliner among central banks and have contributed to the depreciation of the yen. Indonesia has raised the minimum age for purchasing cigarettes from 18 to 21 as part of new health regulations aimed at curbing smoking in a country with one of the highest smoking rates globally. With a population of 270 million, Indonesia is one of the world's top tobacco producers, and a 2021 World Health Organization survey reported about 70 million adult smokers in the country. China imposed export controls on Wednesday on a range of drones and drone parts with potential military use. Exporters could face penalties if they are aware that these items, even if not explicitly banned, could be used for military purposes or terrorism. According to a report by the South China Morning Post, the list of controlled items was issued by various agencies including the Ministry of Commerce and China Customs. The United States and Singapore signed an agreement on Wednesday to deepen cooperation on the peaceful use of nuclear energy. This comes as Singapore explores alternative power sources to reduce carbon emissions. As a regional financial hub and key player in the global semiconductor industry, Singapore is currently dependent on oil and natural gas. The Nothing Phone 2A Plus has officially been launched in India, starting at a price of Rs 27,999. This new smartphone is set to make waves with its MediaTek Dimensity 7350 chipset, a large 6.7-inch AMOLED display, unique glyph design, and a powerful 50MP dual rear camera. Myanmar's military regime has extended the state of emergency in place since the 2021 coup as it struggles to control a civil war involving ethnic armed groups and pro-democracy forces. According to an official statement, the National Defense and Security Council, chaired by junta leader Min Aung Hlaing, has agreed to extend the emergency rule for an additional 6 months until January 31, 2025. It is time for a break now. We'll be back with more news. Stay tuned.
इस तरह आरकेटीएफ विश्वविद्यालय राज्य और देश के आधुनिक और उच्च विश्वविद्यालयों में से एक है।
RKTF यूनिवर्सिटी, ये है RKTF यूनिवर्सिटी।
RKTF University, a world-class university. Education glorifies nation.
Meta Platforms has agreed to settle a lawsuit with Texas for $1.4 billion, addressing allegations that it used facial recognition technology to collect biometric data from millions of Texans without their consent. Now, announced on Tuesday, this settlement is considered the largest of its kind by any state. Pakistan's jailed former Prime Minister Imran Khan has said his party is ready to hold conditional negotiations with the country's powerful military and has appointed a representative for the talks. Let's take a little update about the Wayanad landslides. Various rescue agencies resumed operations early this morning to trace individuals suspected to be trapped in the landslide tragedy, which killed over 100 people and left 186 injured. Vietnamese Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh suggested on Wednesday that India and Vietnam explore the possibility of a free trade agreement, also the FTA, to strengthen their economic partnership. During his 3-day visit to India, Chinh, accompanied by a delegation of ministers, deputy ministers and business leaders, addressed the Vietnam-India Business Forum. 3 people were killed and at least 6 injured after a house collapsed in Haridwar district as heavy rain wreaked havoc in various parts of Uttarakhand on Wednesday evening. Additionally, a family is reported missing following a cloud burst in a village in the Ghansali area of Tehri district, officials said. Authorities have ordered a safety audit of all coaching centers operating in Srinagar following the recent death of 3 civil services aspirants due to flooding in a Delhi institute's basement after heavy rain. All private coaching institutes have been directed to cooperate with the inspection teams and adhere to the established guidelines to ensure student safety. GST authorities have issued a Rs 32,403 crore notice to Infosys for services availed from its overseas branches over a 5-year period starting in 2017. In a shock exchange filing, Infosys referred to the notice as a pre-show cause notice and stated that it believes GST is not applicable to these expenses. At least 10 flights heading to the national capital were diverted on Wednesday as heavy rain lashed Delhi, prompting the Indian Meteorological Department to issue a red alert warning. An official reported that the diversions occurred after 7:30 p.m. due to adverse weather conditions, with 8 flights rerouted to Jaipur and 2 to Lucknow. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel will exact a heavy price from any aggression against us on any front. It was his first public statement since the killing of Hamas's top political leader Ismail Haniyeh in an airstrike in Tehran. Netanyahu did not mention the killing. India had a successful day on Wednesday as star shuttlers PV Sindhu, Lakshya Sen and H.S. Pranoy advanced to the pre-quarters of their individual events with dominant performances. In the men's rifle 3-position shooting event, Swapnil Kusale and Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar experienced heavy fortunes. That's all for the headlines of the day. For more updates, download the app and keep watching Rhythm.